All right, everyone, welcome back to Time Flies By. And here's the state of the collection, non-divers collection. And in front of you today, we have a variety of different watches that have a kind of a kind of similar theme going on with them. And we'll see if you guys can point it out, but I'll explain through, and you guys might get it along as we're going through them. So yeah, here we go. The first day of the collection was the divers. If you guys haven't had a chance to go over it yet and take a look at that, you can. It's on my channel. I released it earlier in the week, depending on when this one comes out. So it'll probably be a week apart, maybe less. But so far it's been doing pretty good. So hopefully everyone likes dive watches. I guess that's the popularity. And then here we go. This is my, I don't know. I would say divers were my favorite watch, but it looks like the field kind of everyday comfortable sports watch is also pretty popular for me as well, because these also get regular wrist time. The ones that don't really get regular wrist time, we're going to start with first, and it's this one here. This is a build that I did from DIY Watch Club. So they sent over the well, I ordered it. They sent the whole package with all the parts, and it's kind of like a do-it-yourself project. And it doesn't have the DIY dial. I switched that out to kind of make like a. I was obsessed with the Black Bay 36 at the time, so I kind of went with a Black Bay 36 blue vibe. But the K-shape is a Explorer style K-shape, really nice. Hugs the wrist, drilled lugs, 38 millimeter. Really nice push-pull crown, signed with a see-through case back, and they actually engraved it for me. This was a gift. I didn't have to pay extra for that. So J Leo, Time Flies By on the rotor, NH35, and it's a really nice watch. As you can see, I did wear it for some time, as that polished bezel does have some wear to it. So really just overall a nice watch, just an everyday one that I got to build myself. So this is super memorable. I had a really good time doing it, and it just gives you a deeper appreciation of the watchmaking process. So we'll take that one out of the way. The next one that I don't wear as much is the Seiko, vintage Seiko 5606 7000. This here is in really good condition for its age. This is a 1966, so it's definitely up there in age, but it has been serviced from where I bought it. It's running great. It's running smooth. Really good quality. And as you can see, there's no way to open the case back. I believe, from what I understand, this one here has to come through the front of the crystal. So acrylic crystal, and yeah, that nice kind of silver sunburst champagne dial. It's a Seiko Lordmatic, and such a really fun watch. It is a little bit small, so 30. This one here is like 35 millimeter, but because of the cushion style case, it does wear really nice. It's got some really good brushing, and it's very thin, as you can see. And I have it on a 19 millimeter, has no bounds, plum Pueblo strap. Really comfortable on there. So I don't wear this much just because it is vintage. I don't want to scratch around. I will wear it the odd occasion, but yeah. So that's the first vintage Seiko. And then this here I do wear a little bit more often, but not as much as the other ones, just because this is not an everyday beater. This piece here is a 17 jewel manual wind 44,990 King Seiko. Look at that dome. So everything is original on this piece except for the new old stock crystal, which is appropriate for the age of when this watch came out. But other than that, everything is original. The movement all the way to the gold plated case back emblem. Okay, so a lot of these you'll find that this has been gone or taken away or taken apart, or they fell off, or whatever the case is. This has the original. The movement inside again has been serviced. This one here is from 1969. So just an overall really good unpolished case. It's got the grammar of design. So Danny Seikosha and the factory there, the King Seiko factory, they had the competition between King Seiko and Grand Seiko. And this is my favorite King Seiko case. Again, the 44,990, and it's just an absolutely beautiful watch. And like I said, I do wear it, but not that often, just because I don't want to bring it out and about and ding it on a doorknob or smash it on a... I don't wear this one to work. So even though I don't baby my watches, there's certain watches that you do have to baby just because of the delicacy and the overall like importance and meaning of being a watch collector. This here is on a 19mm ostrich leather merchant. Beautiful strap. My first ever ostrich strap, and it's holding up. It's very comfortable. Thought it was going to be super stiff, but was very flexible and pliable right out of the packaging, and it hasn't left this watch since I got the strap. It's been about a couple of months. Okay, so that's the other Seiko. And I got an everyday kind of homage watch here from AliExpress, and this one here probably has gotten the most, or equally the most wrist time in 2022. This thing has taken a beating. This one I wear to work when I was doing overnight shift, driving a forklift. You know, this thing took a beating. It's dropped on 2 separate occasions. It hasn't messed up the movement. Everything is still functioning perfectly the way it should. The seconds hand lines up perfectly at the bottom there. Just an overall really nice watch. And one of my favorite homages, and probably the best, I think one of the best homages off AliExpress. Okay, so it's got the Seiko VK64 Mecha Quartz. And yeah, really enjoying this piece. Have worn it, like I said, quite a bit. And it shows. There's the case back. If you guys have never seen it, it's kind of cool. The bracelet is fully articulating, so just really nice. Again, for a watch that's coming off that website, for it to do this, there's only a couple of bracelets that do this. So really nice, really good clasp. Everything's milled. The only thing that is terrible on this watch is this useless, very cheap kind of micro adjust. Okay, no one has a spacesuit or a wetsuit that they're taking this watch on, so Pagani Design, I have no idea why you would put something like this on a watch like this, but it doesn't bother me. It hasn't. It's not that jingly and noisy. It's actually a really decent bracelet for what it is and for what it costs. So if anyone has been thinking about this, I would definitely get it. The date window is proper. The new V4s, the new version 4s don't have the date window, and the logo and the indices are applied. Not on this colorway, on the other colorways, but still, if you're thinking about this watch, this model, go and grab it. 100 bucks, I think 120 maximum Canadian. If you get it on sale, probably cheaper, but I would definitely say go and get yourself one of these if you're into homage watches. If not, then probably stay far away from it. Next is probably my favorite watch in my entire collection, and this is the very first Swiss watch that I bought. I consider it, like I mentioned in the dive video, the Manta mid to high end, you know, micro brand luxury watch. But this here competes with Tudor Black Bay 36, and I wouldn't say Explorer, but this gives me my Explorer vibes. This here is in between the 39mm that's been discontinued and the 36mm that's currently out, which I tried on the other day at an AD. It was an exhibition model only, but I just want to try it on, and like I said, it was very small. It even wore smaller than the Black Bay 36. So for me, this 38mm, absolutely perfect. Nice and thin, under a centimeter thin, so 9.8 millimeters, 9.7 millimeters. 47 lug to lug, and like I said, 38mm, 38.5mm across. Again, gives me my Explorer vibes, and this watch goes anywhere, does anything. It's a that type of watch for me, and I absolutely love it. It's super comfortable, super legible. The lume is fantastic on it. So just overall, this is a watch that with the bracelet on can go with the micro adjust bracelet. Right now I have it on an Erica's strap. But for me, this is just your ultimate field beater, kind of could be a pilot's watch. It's just a do-it-all. So this is probably my favorite watch in the collection. Okay, next is another type of field pilot watch. Sorry, this is running the Salida SW300. +5 to -5 regulated out of the factory. So it's almost cost certified, and you're not really paying the extra for the cost certification. So Monta does a really good job like that with their movements. This here is a Helios, kind of like I said, pilot field watch. They're labeling it as a pilot. They called it a Comet, and I have it on a 20mm leather merchant. Again, once again from the same company, L Merchant, on a what are these called? Epsom. I think the line is called Brillante or Elegantia, and this is an Epsom brown. I think it goes really well with the salmon color. And so yeah, so really like this. The hands, the indices, the thinness, just the overall package. The double dome or single dome, I guess, I don't know, I think double dome box top hat crystal. Manual wind, Salida. So this is, let's get it running here. So SW215 because it has a date complication. Okay, they only made 150, so this is 103 out of 150. One thing I wish this watch would have had is something on that main plate right there. Really wish it would have had a Helios logo or some sort of striping. But other than that, this watch is extremely accurate. It's probably one of my most accurate watches. I usually use my solar G-Shock to sync it. So when it's running and when it's accurate, I will get the time that this has been synced at. So on January 7th at 12:03, and then I can sync it back to this watch, set the time properly, and I know I'll be on there until I have to wind it the next day. So really fun watch to wear. Again, I was in a hard long honeymoon period with this watch, and that's why it's still in the collection. I absolutely love this watch. So another Salida watch. This here is a recent pickup, and again, just blown away with the quality of San Martin. My second San Martin, like I said, my first one was the dive watch, and then I went ahead and bought this one. Yeah, not really much to say about this. Kind of World War II, World War I era, Dirty Dozen kind of pilot's field watch again. It's got those really integrated lugs on the side profile. Really nice profile. This is using a Ronda Quartz, so apparently the battery's good for up to 6 years, a little bit longer than the normal 3 years. The seconds hand does hit all the markers. Again, because it's a small seconds, I think it does a little bit of a better job on hitting the markers. And the lume on here is also fantastic. Yeah, again, just, you know, these are hard to find just because they're Dirty Dozen style watch. You really have to kind of dig and do a lot of research and homework on trying to get a legitimate one from Omega, Sima, Longines. There's a lot of them out there, but again, you're going to be playing with vintage and what the movement's been through, what the watch has been through. Yeah, it's a good history, good story, but unless you know the service record, the history of it, it could be a bit of a gamble because they're not cheap, these watches. So here I get the look, I get the feel. The really nice crown, push-pull crown, signed San Martin, no fish, no dollar sign, just a beautiful watch. Again, quartz, cathedral handset, very nice. Nothing fancy, everything's painted on, but it's exactly what I'm looking for in this type of watch. And again, it's on a Crazy Horse leather merchant band. Is again, I really recommend these leather straps. They're usually always on sale but you get a really nice patina break-in. This one's called the Coconut, and it just suits the watch really nice. So again, sorry, 36 millimeter. 36, let's hold it up here next to the 35, and you can see that this still wears obviously a little bit bigger. Different style case, longer lugs, so forth and so on. So this wears, you know, a little bit better on my wrist, 6 3/4 inch wrist. And yeah, liking that watch too. That's been fun to wear lately. Next, again, here's a kind of the same theme. So if we, this, you guys can kind of see where my preference is at in terms of legibility, everyday wear, no fuss, no nonsense. You know, that everyday kind of pilots or field watch. That's where my love is at. And the Timex gives me that same vibes as well. And then we'll talk about the chrono after the Timex. But yeah, so next is the Helios on a shell Cordovan leather Merchant strap, 20 millimeter. Very durable, high quality. It's like a greenish brown. And this watch is another beautiful, well-made watch. This here is 3 years old now in the collection, and still probably the most accurate watch I have. It uses the same movement as the Helios. This one's not a display case back. So same movement, the SW215 because of the date. This one uses the SW210 because of the no date. So because of the no date movement. So here's a manual wind again. Very beautiful watch, nice and thin, has that vintage kind of profile with another beautiful crystal, domed crystal. And really loving this watch. This one here, stock, comes with the bracelet, and it has the micro adjust where you push the button on the clasp and it can go in or out to give you a good 5 or 6 millimeters of play. But currently right now in the winter, I have a lot of these straps on leather. A lot of these watches on leather straps. So really nice watch. I'm waiting for the C4 to come out. Get this running. So the Helios C4 version 4 is going to be coming out. It's supposed to come out last year. It's been delayed, manufacturer costs, all that. So that's going to be coming out soon. So again, no fuss, no nonsense. Very legible, very good lume. Is it redundant that I have these same watches? Kind of yes and no, because again, another 38 millimeter, but they're all different in my opinion. You know, similar movements, similar look, but they're all kind of different. Gives me different options and so forth and so on. Okay, so then next, another field watch, obviously with the Indigo feature. This here is the cheapest watch, I believe, in my collection. I bought this for about 40 or 50 bucks, but it's been good. It's been reliable. The battery's still going. This is about 2 years now. And again, I wanted that. This is actually another first as well. So brass, not bronze, not stainless. It's like a brass watch. The back is stainless steel, and this is on a 20 millimeter strap habit, kind of canvas and FKM style strap. It's really nice. Quick release spring bars. Another Quartz watch, which I have quite a few now if we tally it up. So 2 Mecha Quartz, 2 Quartz, regular ticking seconds. And yeah, so I have no problem with Quartz. And then obviously the next state of the collection is going to be my digital collection. So my G-Shocks and my Casios and all that. So stay tuned for that one coming up. Gonna try and keep this one around 20 minutes, so we're kind of pushing it there. But yeah, this one's 40 millimeters. So let's see the size difference. So not too bad. 6 3/4 inch wrist, still wears like a dream. Still wears really nice. The strap that this watch came on was horrible, so I ditched that right away and put it on this one here. And then last but not least, another, like I said, another Quartz. So this here, the Timex Q reissue chronograph. I went for this model, the beige dial, just because I love it so much. And I already had this one, like I said. I made a video about this a while ago. I compared these two. This had the black dial, so I didn't want to get another black dial watch. I still might get it, only because I want the bracelet version of this watch. And the only way to get the bracelet version is by going with a black dial. But I went with the Panda. Gives me, I also got rid of my Daytona homage that I got off AliExpress, the Pagani design, just because the bracelet was horrible. And then I ended up wearing this one more. So I got rid of the Daytona, but then this came out and it gives me those Daytona vibes as well. Kind of the retro vintage racing Paul Newman style. So really, really like this watch. Another Epson style Mecha Quartz. So part of the Seiko and Orient and Epson family Mecha Quartz. The date is, again, done correctly. It's positioned perfectly between the 4 and the 5. Some dates are horribly done wrong, like Seiko puts them closer to the 4, closer to the 5. It doesn't look balanced. This one here is really done well. The seconds, if there was seconds markers, it kind of lines up. Not as good as the Pagani, believe it or not, but it's still a Mecha Quartz movement. So, and the Mecha Quartz from the Pagani was a snapback. This one here is a sweep back. So it's just gonna sweep right back into position. Really, really like this watch. I wear it a ton. Look at that side profile. And really, really good stock leather strap from SB Foot Tanning Company in Minnesota. So really, really, this strap has held up nicely over time. It actually is really, really durable. That's just the coloration. It's not ripping or tearing or anything. And yeah, really, really nice watch. I wear this one quite a bit. I wear it for work. This has a acrylic crystal, and so far, even though the watch is kind of beat up and scratched, I've been able to keep the crystal in relatively good shape. So yeah, so there's kind of your field watch, sport watch, pilot's watch, and two kind of dress watches here, if you want to call them dress watches, sport watches. And that's the collection there. So like I said, stay tuned. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Stay tuned for the digital watch Casio collection coming up. And you guys have yourselves a nice weekend and following week whenever you're watching this. Thanks, guys. See you soon.